Hello trainers, Ganeto here, and today we're diving together into Open Ultra League with a legendary team. So we're gonna use 3 of those legendaries coming up on your screens for your own entertainment, and of course this team is extremely meta. I went on PvP right after using the team, and to my surprise this is almost an all-A team, because I was surprised about how easy it is for this team to get through the entire meta of Ultra League. Even the losses that I had were pretty close. But today we're also gonna focus on those very bad leads that you can get with this team. So mainly you're afraid of something like a normal type, a dark type up in front, so that then your backlane can even counter that weakness for sure. So that's why this team gets A on coverage, A on every single category of PvP. Instead of getting an A though on consistency, it gets a B. So there goes that almost A grade that it can get for PvP. So now at the back they are having a Greninja, and we might be on the better coverage option overall, since we're a fairy type up against a dark type. But you're gonna see that Greninja is no joke at all, able to get there to their moves. They also have one more Pokemon at the back, but hopefully for us it is just a Dragonite, and I'm saying that because as you can see here, we're just gonna one-shot it down. So now they return into the battle with their Greninja, and all they have to do at this point is to go straight for those tight slashes. I know that, and of course I will try to bait. This is my only win condition. Out of there goes their shield, and now at this point I need to grab that final night slash on my Giratina, and that is gonna secure the victory, since now we can definitely outspeed to the next charge attack, and we can start off this video with an amazing victory. Let's focus now into the next one, because we're facing a Pidgeot up in front. Horrible and terrible lead scenario. We do not even have ancient power to threat even at least this Pokemon. So we're just gonna switch out immediately to our Red Steel. So not only we're having the worst possible lead scenario, but also at the back Red Steel is gonna struggle a lot against Virizion. Sacred Sword here is gonna do a lot of work, to be fair, and another one is already imminent to our Pokemon. Hopefully for us we can still reach here to the Focus Blast. Who knows, perhaps they undercharged, perhaps they did not, and we just survived with those weird IVs. But just imagine that if you have better IVs than mine, you're gonna be on a much better environment even against those fighters, and you're gonna see that match up the Metal Trash Can against a fighter a lot on the video. So I could easily go ahead and completely farm down at this point, but I was kinda afraid that they would go ahead and switch out with energy on their Virizion, so that's why I decided to throw the move. Now with Jellicent at the back, we're not looking that great for sure, and now let's see how this is gonna unfold, because much like in the previous scenario, we tend to have the shield advantage. This team is too bulky with both Giratina and Red Steel, and of course having in between as a safe switch your Tapu Fini, you're gonna be sometimes on a very good spot. Did I say safe switch? No, it is not a safe switch at all. It is a closer for this team. The safe switch is of course Red Steel. So at this point we're getting severely low, and all we have to do is to grab that final shield with that Surf. I knew they were gonna shield because now they know my instant power is not into play, most probably, and now with that Feather Dance we are not looking that great, because my Dragon Claws are not gonna do a lot of damage. All I can do though here is to go ahead and let all those Feather Dances go through, and right after try to stall just as much as I can, because I want to clear those debuffs that I'm having with my Giratina by switching out to my Tapu Fini. Also I will try to catch the move if that is gonna be possible, and in doing so we can absolutely tear apart our opponent. We're having so much energy to spare. For some reason I pressed the Shadow Claw. That was not the correct move. Straight for the Dragon Claw is the correct play, and another one to secure another big victory with a very bad alignment, as you can see over here. Down goes Pidgeot. Let's get that sweet victory when time is up, and yeah, that's gonna be absolutely great. Into the next one, and now we're having a fairy type. Are you kidding me? My Giratina cannot catch a break at all, but hopefully we have Shadow Force. Perhaps they are not gonna expect it at all, so all we have to do at this point is to overfarm to a point that the Shadow Force is ready. As you can see here, once again I did one extra Shadow Claw for no reason at all, and that can be crucial. Do not do this. and right after now we're gonna be paired up with this Gliscor. Earthquake is not gonna be appreciated by our fairy type Pokemon, so by blocking here the correct move, we can actually have the upper hand up against that Flying Scorpio Pokemon. So now go Lysopod at the back, and it makes me think that we might actually stand a chance even up against them, because we carry a Pokemon like Red Steel as our closer, as our pivot, but in this battle it is gonna be a closer, and of course we can kinda rely on that. So here comes now another move. I'm just gonna take it. It is gonna be a release, and down goes my Tapu Fini. Red Steel goes in, and Tapu Fini will return for some cheap damage with those serves. All I want to do here is to completely farm down. My opponent knows that a double zap cannon will not be appreciated by his water types, and we're gonna take this victory. Into the next one now, and we're having Golisopod up in front. So Dragon Claw up against that Pokemon, and of course we're just gonna go ahead and let those moves that they're gonna throw come through. So it is obviously an air release. That was on the 5th one. If they have Excisor, most probably they are gonna go for the liquidation, trying to apply the debuff, but if they do not, yeah, air release is mainly their way to go. So at this point I'm just gonna charge up as much as I can, expecting the switch to be fair at some point, and here it comes on the Nidoqueen. I try to make a weird play here. I want to debuff that Nidoqueen. That was too risky, but I had to do it so that right after I can get my hands on the Focus Blast much easier, but I thought I could survive a little bit easier here. So yeah, having better IVs will help a lot on your Red Steel, or just invest more Excel candies than I have done over here, but still, as you can see, those matchups are gonna be extremely close. Anyways, it's all up to you, and now Golisopod is gonna return in battle. So this Pokemon with Shadow Claw is absolutely safe for the meta. I really like it a lot. I might make another video around it, but I think that the proper alignment is always the key sometimes. So yeah, here comes now Dragonite, and of course we're gonna reach to the Surf to start baiting some seals. Right after, I'm not gonna go for the Surf. I will try to get for the Overfarm and perhaps the Moonblast, but I can see here that my opponent is just gonna pressure me a lot, even with those Dragon Blades being resisted. So instead of overfarming, I'm just gonna get straight to the Moonblast. My opponent will fall for that, and of course we're gonna farm down Golisopod, even though they had one more shield remaining in play. So Pidgeot once again, are you kidding me? This is horrible, this is super bad. We're just gonna switch out to our safe switch slash whatever Pokemon that might be, the Metal Trascan as I like to call it, and of course we're being met up with a fighter. So after the Icy Wind, that Zap Cannon will stand no chance up against the Poliwrath. So the best thing that we can do here is to debuff this Pokemon a lot, then return into the battle with our Giratina and start farming down all that crucial energy. So here comes Icy Wind. We can easily take those moves now. Look at how little damage they can do, and of course by completely farming down, we can kinda have the upper hand even against the Pidgeot, because we're gonna switch out, clearing all those debuffs and keep that energy for the game. Poliwrath goes down. I'm not expecting the Pidgeot, but my opponent will actually bring it into play, which makes me think that whatever lies at the back must be weak to my Tapu Fini. So here comes now the first move. I'm just gonna call it, not even the Brave Bird, just the Feather Dance, and right after we can have the chance to finish off this Pokemon. So now I'm starting to block, and of course, since the switch timer is almost up, I'm gonna press here the Moonblast for big damage output, even when I have the debuff, and they are gonna block. So look at that now. Take a breath, because this is gonna be an amazing closing scenario. I'm gonna switch out now to my Giratina, have a lot of energy to spare, and I know that two of those Dragon Claws are not gonna be enough. So by blocking here, we can kinda guarantee that we can have the knockout up against Giratina, the opposing Giratina. Before though, we're gonna do something weird. We have to finish off this Pokemon as soon as possible, remain with a little bit of HP so that they cannot farm a lot, and now this will be a race to the next charge attack that I know for sure I can win, and the Surf will grab for me that amazing victory to end this battle. Into the next one now with a Grident up in front. Another horrible and nightmare lead for my Giratina. Lil Dev over here, the king of nightmares, the king of the underworld of Pokemon. Of course, the Pokemon lore is still gonna be afraid of that chewing whatever squirrel Pokemon. So yeah, that is kinda weird, but still it happens in Ultra League. And all we have to do at this point is to switch out to a Registeel. This is the safe switch, the pivot Pokemon after all. And now Zap Cannon will do tremendous amount of work up against the water typing of Poliwrath. Unfortunately for us, we cannot farm down, but fortunately for us, we can push them in doing a mistake and throw the remaining energy that they have. Perhaps that was not a mistake, I'm not sure, perhaps they had 2, 3 or 1 HP, and if they had 1, well, that was a very good throw to be fair. So here comes now the Dragonclaw for some cheap damage on the Grident as I'm trying to catch the crunch on my Tapu Fini. How many catches have we done on this video? Can you write down in the comment section, because I have definitely lost track of those catches, and they definitely make the difference over here, especially when we're having super tough and bad leads all the way. So here comes now a move from this Golisopod, which I know I can survive, and all we have to do at this point is to reach to the Moonblast. They are gonna take it since they know that Grident is gonna be their go-to Pokemon to finish off my Giratina. So Liquidation is coming off, we can easily take it and still farm down. At this point we have a lot of energy, but those Shadow Claws are not gonna add up in damage, and Dragon Claws are not gonna do a lot of work. I know though that I can easily survive at least 1 crunch, which is pretty good at this point, and my opponent has definitely now 100 energy. I think they are over farming a lot, and now they are gonna throw. Since I know that crunch might have the chance to debuff me, I'd rather take the first one since I'm not debuffed at all, and right after I'm just gonna throw the remaining energy that I have. So by keeping those 2 shields for the very end game, we're just gonna block the body slams now, but it makes no difference at all, because as you're gonna see now, with that energy going back to back towards my side, we can safely get to the Dragonclaw to finish off Grident and grab this victory, as you can already notice. So let's head now into the final one with that Giratina on the mirror. So we're getting now to the first Dragonclaw, which is pretty great. I know I can win those CMPs, especially when I have 15 in attack. Yeah, that is a Giratina from the very early days of Go Battling, and since this Pokemon was available, so yeah, I had to do whatever I could. So getting a Pokemon with a high attack was absolutely not the greatest option out there, but still kinda relevant, you know. High attack makes some really good CMPs coming towards your way. So here comes now Feather Dance from that Pidgeot, and guess what? Now the Zapcan will not be enough to finish off this Pokemon, but hopefully it will bring it super low at a point that we might actually farm it down. Instead, I wanted to go for the Focus Blast here without charging it at all, but my opponent decides to catch the move. So not only I'm catching here, but also my opponents, and this is so groundbreaking for my team, but of course it's all part of the plan, because Shadow Sneak can easily be taken here. Now we have already charged up back to that Zap Cannon, so it's like no energy was lost in the process. They have a Poliwrath at this point, and all we have to do here is to go ahead and let those moves go through. They are gonna debuff us, but at the same time they will undercharge the Icy Wind, which gives me some time to get to the Shadow Force, and most people are not gonna expect the big nuke, so they are gonna let that move go through. They thought we were just gonna go for the Dragonclaw, for an Instant Power, for a Shadow Sneak, perhaps a double, but yeah, we know better. The Shadow Force coming up, Brave Bird now to finish off my Registeel, but it makes no big difference because my Tapu Fini is already on the mission. All we have to do at this point is to completely farm down, and we're just gonna flex those shields for the end game as well. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for staying till that end mark of this video. And with that said, just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to check any of these 2 videos that are coming up on your screen. Thank you for watching once again, and I will catch you up later into the next one.